Face the poker challenge. BWin.
Welcome to our poker DVD. In the next few minutes, I'm going to try to give you a better understanding of poker. We'll be taking a closer look at No Limit Texas Hold'em. You most likely already have a game of poker planned with your buddies tonight, and I want to help you to win it. Here's my first tip. Don't show this DVD to your friends till later. That'll help. I was once a beginner at poker too. It was 15 years ago when I held the first pair of cards in my hands. I knew nothing about the jargon or terms such as pot odds, position play, or no limit hold'em. I had to learn the hard way, and today I want to try to save you all that trouble. So listen, learn, and have fun.
Poker time!
Before we finally get down to practical matters, very important, the poker equipment. What do we need for a game of poker? That's right, a poker table. There are a great many differences with these. You could use a tablecloth or a proper poker table, which comes in many different shapes and sizes. From a simple folding table to a professional poker table like this one.
Poker time!
Then you need chips. Without chips, the entire poker atmosphere wouldn't exist. The tricks with the chips, the sounds they make, all of this would be missing, and poker night would only be half as much fun. It's very important that you have poker chips with different values and different colors. Only then can you really exploit all varieties of poker. There are differences in the quality of the chips too, ranging from simple plastic to ceramic chips, which are generally only used in casinos. What else do we need?
Poker time!
A complete deck contains 52 cards in total, from 2s to aces. There are 4 suits: clubs, diamonds, spades, and hearts. There are several types of cards, ranging from simple paper to plastic. Paper cards are easy to mark and don't last as long as plastic cards. That's just about everything.
Poker time!
Right, for this occasion, in our case also highly attractive, a professional card dealer. Manuela, hello.
Hello, Thomas.
If a professional dealer is not available, then you'll be using one of these dealer buttons. This button always indicates the position of the card dealer and is drawn by lot before the first game. Every player chooses a card, and the person with the highest card receives the button.
Poker time!
Texas Hold'em is played with so-called blinds, the basic predetermined stakes to be placed before the cards are dealt. The position of these blinds is always determined by the dealer button. In our case, Rudiger in seat number 6 has the dealer button, and it's always the 2 players to the left of the dealer who have to place the blinds. In our case, Giovanni has a small blind, and Lucy has the big blind.
Poker time!
Before we really get the game started, I'd like to give you some insight into the shuffling process of a professional dealer. Manuel is now going to show us how this works. We begin with the scramble, sometimes called the wash. It may look like child's play, but it remains the safest and best alternative for shuffling the cards. It is followed by a riffle. This process is repeated 3 times. It's especially important to shuffle correctly and accurately. Then comes a triple pile shuffle, which is a method of cutting the deck before a final riffle adds the finishing touch.
Poker time!
Process is completed by cutting the deck. It's important to cut with one hand holding onto the cut card, which helps conceal the bottom card. After that, starting with the small blind, every player receives 2 cards face down, the so-called whole cards. Very important, these whole cards are only meant for the individual player to see. As soon as each player has received his 2 hidden cards, we begin with the first round of betting.
Poker time!
The first betting round begins with the player to the left of the big blind. In this case, that's me. I now have 3 possibilities. The first is to quit, pass, or fold. That is, get out of the game by taking my cards and placing them in the center of the table. The second possibility is for me to go along, to pay, or to call. What this means is that I would match the same bet that was made previously, in this case the same amount as the big blind. My third option, if I had decent cards, would be to raise. The stakes. This means I have to bet a minimum of twice as much as the big blind, in this case 200. Once we start playing No Limit Texas Hold'em, I also have the possibility of betting all my chips. That's called going all in. Okay, in this test round I've decided to raise the stakes a little bit, so I raised to 200. The game continues in a clockwise direction. The next person to act is Matthias. Matthias has the same 3 options I had.
Fold.
He decides to fold. He backs out of the game. Now it's Johnny's turn.
Fold.
Johnny probably also has bad cards and decides to give them up. Now position number 6, it's Rudiger's turn.
Call.
Rudiger pays for a call. Now we return to position number 1, the small blind. Naturally, the small blind can also make a play. He too has the same 3 options.
Call.
And he also pays and goes along with it. Now we come to Lucy. She was in the position of the big blind. She also has the same 3 options, so what will Lucy do?
Call.
Lucy pays, she calls, and also stays in the game. All players have now placed exactly the same bets. The dealer collects all of the bets and adds them to the pot, and the first round is now complete. Now come the first 3 community cards. This is called the flop. Before the flop, the dealer places 1 card underneath the pot. This so-called burn card exists for safety reasons, since the topmost card could have been marked or damaged. The second betting round now begins with the first active player to the left of the dealer button. In our case, that would be Giovanni. Giovanni, unlike in the previous round, now has another option. He can check. A check means that he passes the right to place a bet onto the next player. That means he places no bet. As before, all community cards have matched the same amount. And so the 4th community card is covered. This is called the turn. Another round follows. All players have bet the same amount. And then comes the 5th and final community card, called the river. Our board is now complete. The board consists of the flop, the turn, and the river. And now we enter the final and decisive betting round.
Poker time!
As soon as the last round of betting ends, there's a showdown. That means the players compare their cards, and the best hand of 5 cards wins the pot. The 5 cards can be any of the following combinations: 2 whole cards and 3 community cards, or 4 community cards and 1 whole card. Or there is even the possibility of playing the board. That means that all 5 community cards are used instead of any of the whole cards. Got it? Okay, then let's play a few games and any outstanding questions will be resolved along the way.
Poker time!
One important thing to note at this point, you can review the following games step by step at any time. Just select the chapter Game Analysis from the DVD menu. So, all the players have received their whole cards already? And I start the action because I'm the first player to the left of the big blind. I have a good card and choose to raise 300.
Fold.
Fold.
Call. Call. Fold.
Fold.
Call.
4 players.
Bet 300.
You sure?
Yeah.
Call.
Call. Call.
Check.
500.
Fold. Call.
Fold.
Heads up.
$500.
Call.
Showdown. A pair of kings. A pair of queens.
There we go. That was a piece of cake. We've already won.